Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me know if you're here. Say hello in the chat. It is Monday morning. It's raining, it's cold, and yet I still find beauty in that. I believe it's a beautiful day. I'm grateful that I have comfort and warmth in my home. I'm grateful to have community in this space. The weather will do what the weather will do, and we just respond. Good morning, John and Susan. I'm so glad you're here. Waiting just a couple of minutes, see who else jumps in. We did not go for our dog walk yet. I thought I would just wait until, I don't know, it's not going to stop raining today, but it might get a little warmer. Then again, I love my boots, I love my coat, I love my hat. We can do it. Good morning, Gail. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Let me know who else is here. It's a gift, truly, to have somewhere to be at a certain time right now. And I think going into winter, it's going to be really important as we're living through what we hope will be the last leg of the pandemic life, that we make plans, we make commitments to ourselves and to each other to show up, have agreements about maintaining space and maintaining community and maintaining some sort of ritual around staying grounded and sticking together, being warm, finding ways to be safe and caring of each other. Okay, we'll get started. Hi, Jane. Hi, Janet. Hello. Welcome. Greetings, everybody. It is Monday, December 14th, 2020. I'm Annie Moyer. This is the Sun and Moon Yoga YouTube channel. And this week is very special in the sky. What's happening is referred to as the Great Convergence, where Jupiter and Saturn align their orbits with Earth, and it appears to be a straight shot and a very beautiful bright light in the southwestern sky just after sunset. I wrote a little blog piece about this morning and sent it out to the Sun and Moon community. By the way, if you're not on our email list, please go to our website and sign up, and you'll get sweet little missives from me and updates about what's happening at the studio virtually, and then ultimately again in person someday very soon. So last week I'm walking the dog. That's when all great things happen for me. And I saw these two bright beauties in the sky, and I was very immediately taken. I didn't know what it was. And I had to sort of pause and check off all the boxes of like, no, it's not an airplane. It's not the moon. It's not, I didn't know what it was. It's not the normal stars that one would see in an urban area. So bright, so prominent, and so low in the sky. So I came home, looked up on the internet, and learned about this Great Convergence. So this only happens very infrequently, and apparently it hasn't been visible from Earth in several hundred years, and it won't be again for some time. I think I saw 80 years, which seems short, but for me at age 54, pretty odds are good I won't be around for it again. So the time is now. And if there isn't anything more yogic, I don't know what it would be than to stand on the street corner, to gaze up in the sky, to see these bright planets shining in such an unusual and brilliant way out of the blue, and to drink that moment in, to allow oneself to be mesmerized. This is what I believe the yogis were in pursuit of, this sense of belonging and connection to something so much greater than us. And when we experience that connection in a moment, we recognize the fleeting nature of all existence. I will never see that again after this week. That's pretty deep. That's pretty big. That's monumental. And all I did was put the dog's leash on, put on my coat and shoes, and take a spin around the block. And so these majestic moments happen in the most mundane. And that's how it is. That's how it goes. So the calling for one practicing yoga is to be open and available for magnificence within the mundane. And this is how we stay connected. This is the great convergence of one human in the vast expanse of the universe. I called it convergence. Sometimes I think it's actually called conjunction. I get the two mixed up, but I feel it's the same concept. We're converging, we're conjuncting, we are conjoining our experiences. So in the body, what does this feel like? Let's come to the mat and play around a little bit. We'll start standing up with the feet wide. So nice wide stance. And roll the feet in and out a few times and notice the feeling of the inner edges dropping down more dramatically and then the outer edges of the feet dropping down more dramatically. And you can guess that the goal is to have an equal drama of descent. The inner edges of the mounds of the toes and the heels, along with the outer edges, the mounds of the toes and the heels. And then you can feel the back of the heel pressing down and each toe mound making its meeting with the steady ground beneath. Bring your hands to your hips and now just take some breaths, some inhales and some exhales. Some breath that comes in, some breath that comes out. Some stars that appear and some stars that fade. A breath in and a breath out. Wiggle your fingers and soften your arms and start to circle your elbows around. And take the arms out a little wider and a little wider and a little wider until you're reaching out to the sides. Far to the left and far to the right. And ignite the energy out through your fingers. And without changing the level of enthusiasm of this reach, can you add in a layer of softness so that it doesn't feel like a taxing effort, but it feels like a genuine reach? So A taxing effort might suggest an imposition of the self outward onto the world. And a genuine reach might suggest the attitude of a welcoming of the world in. I'm voting for the latter, a welcoming of the world in. And now turn the palms up toward the ceiling and reach one arm up and seesaw the other one over. Reach to the side. So we haven't changed the position of the pelvis or the legs or the feet, just the arms and the torso. Reach up, inhale, out wide, and then over to the other side. And then back up out wide, and let's just seesaw side to side. And while I said we haven't changed the position of the legs, feet, or pelvis, what we're also doing is paying close attention, being on alert or on guard for any strain in the lower back. And if that arises, then you might consider turning the pelvis a little bit to make more space particularly in the lower back on the side to which you're reaching. Side to side. You might imagine that with your limbs spread wide and sort of twinkling with alive energy, that you are like a star, shining your light and welcoming in what's around you. One more time, over to the side, and then we'll add a piece. So as you go back to the other side, shift the hips around and swoop the arm down and circle all the way back to the starting point, and then go the other way. So now as we are swooping around, we're shifting the pelvis slightly to the side, protecting the lower back, making space for lots of length in the torso, and just spinning around, alternating which side initiates. And then you can switch up what you do with your arms. Make it your own. Once more to each side. Back up to center. And then bring the palms together at the heart. And now turn your feet to one side. So the first foot that turns, turn it all the way out 90 degrees. The second foot that turns, turn it inward slightly and then kick the heel away from center. And now you're facing the torso more or less to the short side of the mat. Let's take both arms up and bend the front knee into a gentle warrior. And as you hold that for a breath, feel the feet rooting down and the heart rising up. And then soft arms as you fold down, take your hands behind you, bow forward over your front leg and reach the arms up. And you can flip the palms or you can keep the palms facing inward. And then rise up, bend the knee, warrior one again. And then simply flow back and forth between the fold with the arms raised behind you and the upward reaching warrior with the feet grounding down. On a day like this, when it's cold and damp, I do like to get some movement happening. in the body, so that then when I curl up on the couch with a book and a cup of tea, I feel still vibrant inside. One more time, bowing down. And then rise up. Hands on the hips to turn the feet back to center. And pause for a breath. And now spin to the other side. So the foot turns out, the other heel kicks back, heart turns to face the short side of the mat. Bend your knee and reach up. Couple of breaths here in the warrior pose. Notice the back foot and make the effort not to sink into the inner edge of the foot to flatten the arch, but rather keep the arch perky and rising as you seal the outer edge of the foot down. And then on the next breath out, arms down, front leg goes towards straight, bow down, and you can take the same position of the hands or a different one to lift the arms up. You could hold one wrist with the other hand, and then back and forth between the warrior and the forward bow. Always the breath is your first guide, the one in charge of decisions about pace and length and depth of movement. The breath will tell you if something is too much or not enough. And then one more time back up into warrior. And one more time back down into the fold. And then rise up tall. And turn back to face the long side of your mat with your feet parallel. Inhale both arms up, nice and tall. And then exhale, fold down through center. Drop the head, relax the jaw and the neck. Put your hands anywhere you want. And while you're here in the fold, you can emphasize the lifting sitting bones, the grounded heels, the long spine. Again, your hands can be anywhere you want them to be, anywhere they want themselves to be. And then bend the knees just a touch and roll up to stand tall once again. Turn your feet to the side again. First foot turns out 90 degrees, other foot turns in as the heel kicks back. Now turn your heart to face the long side. Arms reach wide. We'll come into a triangle pose, reaching off to the side, angling the torso, and then tipping down. And long, steady breaths. Easy fold. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, twinkle the fingers on the top arm and then start to backstroke the arm to help raise you back up and relax the arms down for a moment as you shift your feet to the other side. Turn the heart to face the long side of the mat. Open the arms wide. Reach off to the other side. Tip down into triangle pose. Steady breaths, strong legs and feet. You can imagine that you are sending light waves out from your limbs, like any good star does. And the conjunction or the convergence of your breath with your body, with your heart and spirit and mind is the fuel for that light. And now twinkle the fingers on the top arm and backstroke it to bring yourself back up. Arms wide and then float them down. Turn the feet forward. Inhale, reach up tall. And exhale, fold down. Put your hands anywhere it's comfortable for them to be. Lift the sitting bones high, high, high as the spine drops down, down, down. And then bend the knees a touch and roll up slowly to stand. So we'll take the feet now halfway back towards center. And turn them out a touch, just about, 20 degrees or so. And then bend the knees as you maintain a vertical posture from your sitting bones to the crown of your head. And take the arms out wide, bend the elbows, fingertips pointing up, palms facing in. And from here, careful of your knees, so engaged in the thighs, open the heels away from each other and turn the toes out. Perhaps you sink a little deeper. Perhaps you go one more notch wide into goddess pose. And from here, we can make it animated and vibrant by reaching up and straightening the legs, and exhale, sinking down again. Rising up, dropping down with an inhale and an exhale. One more time. Lift up tall and sink down deep. And then soften the arms and straighten the legs and bring the feet together all the way. Palms to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Hang your head, relax your jaw, drop the neck. And now turn to the side of the mat and come down onto your hands and knees. And move the spine up and down. Inhaling, exhaling. Spread your fingers wide, root your palms to the mat around the edges as the center of the palm domes up. And the next time the mid-spine drops and you have your heels lifting up, your sitting bones, not your heels, your sitting bones lifting up behind you, tuck the toes, and then stretch back into downward facing dog. Shake out your head. Again, neck and jaw nice and loose and soft. Long, steady breaths. And bring the knees down and step 1 foot forward. And lunge forward, reach up. Inhale, sweep your arms high, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And imagine streams of light that are both dropping down from the universe and rising up from your inner universe. Make that the great conjunction of you connecting to all of it. And then release, hands down, step back, switch legs, lunge forward, inhale, sweep the arms up, reach tall, breathe deep, shine bright. And release. Reach down, step back, another downward facing dog. From here, bend your knees, step the feet so they're as close to each other as they can get. That might mean right up against each other. And then swivel your knees off to one side, drop onto one hip, and then open up your arm, turn your heart, breathe in, and breathe out, and we'll go to the other side. So lift up the hip, lift up the knees, stretch back into dog pose, and then bring the feet together again, bend the knees, turn them to the other side, swiveling sideways, drop onto the hip, and raise the arm. Reach up, lean back a little bit, make space across the collarbones, wide shoulders, and then come down. Lift up the hips, lift up the knees, stretch back. And then bring the knees down and drop your hips back. Any version of child's pose. Knees can be wide or together. You can have something under your belly, something under your head, something under your hips or ankles. And then rise up slowly. Spin around onto your back. Hug the knees as you roll back. And then stretch one leg out on the ground, the other leg up to the ceiling. Take your arms out wide apart from each other. Take the lifted leg and drop it sideways across the midline into a twist. Bend your knee if you hit a wall like I am. And figure out which arm belongs to the same side as your straight leg that's on the ground. And take that arm and dial it up behind your head. So you have 4 limbs reaching in 4 directions. I've heard this called morning star pose, and I felt it was appropriate. And it feels nice. I like to turn my head away from the twisting leg, which brings the twist all the way up to the base of the skull, where the spine begins. And now bend all 4 limbs, gather them up, squeeze the knees in, and switch sides. So straighten the other leg on the ground, arms out wide, kick the other leg up to the ceiling, take it across to twist, and then figure out which arm belongs to the straight bottom leg and dial that one behind your head. Turn your head opposite the crossed leg. Find the breath as it travels in and escort the breath as it travels out. One more breath, and then bend all the limbs, knees and elbows, hug in. Curl your forehead towards your knees, rock side to side a couple of times. You can rest the head back down and continue rocking side to side. And then cross your ankles. You can hold on to your knees or your ankles or your feet and rock back and forth a few times. Right along the length of your spine. Cross your ankles the other way. Rock a couple more times. And then find your way all the way up to sit. Cross the legs. Pause. Observe the breath. Notice the full weight of your body resting at ease into the earth. And the bright, sparkly nature of you inside, rising up, connecting to the heavens. Inhale and exhale. And bring your palms together. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish for you that you find some great convergence between the mundane and the magnificent. And I wish you a very, very happy holiday couple of weeks. I will be not here next week, but back for the new year. We'll still be doing our live streams. It just won't be me personally. And I will see you all soon. Take very good care. Thanks for joining. Oh, thank you, Marla. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. Oh, Christiane. It's so good to find some inner energy on a dreary day like this. I so agree. Thank you, Janet. Oh, Gail, you are so welcome. We love doing this. So I just so grateful that it's been appreciated and that it has been useful for you. Okay, everybody, take good care. I will see you soon.